She-Hulk, episode number 3. It's building. It's building a momentum. It's moving towards something that I think might be pretty good. I think there's going to be a special guest star in every episode. They had the Hulk, Bruce Banner, and then they had the Abomination and the Hulk, and now they've got Wong. Daredevil's supposed to be coming up. They also had a special villain and a hint towards another villain, and I am very excited because I think I know who it is. They haven't said it, but if you ask me, I'm gonna say it's the leader. I think the leader is coming. In the previous iteration of the Incredible Hulk, starting off in the last episode, the Incredible Hulk said that he was a completely different person. And he is. He's a brand new actor. They said that. Somebody wrote that. Somebody was thinking that and wrote that down and made it part of the show. It meant something. I think it meant remember the previous incarnation of the Hulk. I think that they wanted to do that because in that previous Incredible Hulk movie, what happened was they had the leader, the guy who's going to become the leader. He's laying on the ground. His head is ripped open. He's got that scar, and the Banner's green blood is dripping in his head. And we've seen on the She-Hulk that it only takes like that long for it to affect you. It got in her blood, she immediately became the She-Hulk. It got in his blood, his head immediately started growing. The leader is one of the premier Incredible Hulk villains. You got the Abomination, you got the leader. Those are his two main guys. Maybe the Juggernaut, a couple of people also. But the leader and the Abomination are his two main guys. Someone is taking care of the Abomination. I think somebody is feeding him things to say in order to get out of jail. Once he's out. They released him. So the leader is as smart, supposedly, as the Hulk is strong. He's immensely smart. He creates all kinds of robots and devices and chemicals and what have you. He's one of the people who creates the Red Hulk, which I think we'll be seeing sooner or later in Marvel. In this episode, she has to go to court and she has to battle for Blonsky / the Abomination. One of the things she decides is she's going to call him Emil. She's going to call herself Barbara, so she can bring them back to the temperament of regular people, so they can look at them as regular people and not just a couple of monsters. And it works. Wong kidnapped Blonsky so he could fight him to practice his Sorcerer Supreme stuff, man, and he comes out and admits it. He tells him, yes, I kidnapped him, I forced him against his will out of his prison, I took him there, I made him fight, and then I told him, you don't have to go back, man, you can just stay here with us. I think you're cool enough that you can stay here with us. I think you got yourself under control. And Blonsky was like, nope, gotta go back, finish my jail time. So he goes back. Because Wong admits this, and because the people who are trying to figure out if he can be released sees that Blonsky can transform into the Abomination whenever he wants to. He could have just transformed and left the prison if he was of a mind to, but he didn't. So they're like, well, he could transform whenever he wants. He never left. He was out. He was forced out, and he came back. Clearly, he wanted to pay his debt to society, to repay his debt. So they release him. They let him go. Then they tell Wong, well, you committed a crime by kidnapping that dude and then breaking him out of prison. And Wong straight dips. He leaves. He's like, oh, gotta go. And he walks out of there. So now he's going to need a lawyer. So he'll be back, of course. The side episode, the B part of the show was a light elf who can transform into different people. And she's living in New Asgard, and she is pretending to be Megan Thee Stallion. So Megan Thee Stallion makes an appearance, which is kind of cool. But I think she's gonna be trouble, man. She's like an imp. She may very well be a dude, and if she's a dude, then she'd be, I guess, the Impossible Man, because they're bringing all of these Hulk type, abstract, unknown people. They're bringing them in. That could be he's an imp, the Impossible Man. He can transform into anybody, changes himself to look like anybody. So I'm thinking maybe she's really a dude and that's him, or maybe they flipped and she's the Impossible Woman, which there is one of those too, as opposed to the Impossible Man. Somebody that causes mischief and just transforms into different people just to mess stuff up, just for his/her own amusement. I'm thinking that's where they're going with that one. I predicted before the show started that one of the She-Hulk's main villains, it's the main villain for a few people, but one of She-Hulk's main villains is a group called the Wrecking Crew. And the Wrecking Crew is made up of 4 guys that are using Asgardian power to basically be a construction wrecking crew type villain group. And they showed up, man. They showed up and they tried to steal her blood, which again makes me think the leader, because they did it for the boss, whomever that may be. And the Wrecking Crew, I think, is working for them. They've got these Asgardian weapons that they're using. One of them full on had the ball and chain, which belongs to a guy called Thunderball. And they even call him by name when they get in there and they're trying to escape. He's like, Thunderball, did you get it? And I was like, he said Thunderball. That's the guy. It would be like if somebody said Robin. You'd be like, Batman and Robin. It was a gimme. So the guy says, Thunderball, did you get it? And he says, nah, as soon as she changed into She-Hulk, I couldn't get the needle past her skin. I don't think these guys have been augmented yet, because the way that their team works is the leader of the Wrecking Crew. He has the ability he's really strong. And he divvies his power up between the other crew. So they all have a small portion of his power. They're all like Spider-Man level strength. But when he wants, he can absorb it back into himself. And he's not as strong as Thor, but he has the power to fight Thor. He's not as strong as Thor by half, but he can fight Thor. That's his main thing. He fights with Thor. So they did not show that. They didn't show their ability. She changed into the She-Hulk, and then pretty much fight was over with. So I'm thinking they haven't been augmented yet. There's these things, I think it was the Runestones, that they use to transform the Wrecker, and then he gives power to the rest of his team. So that's got to happen. So they are not fully powered yet. So they took a defeat. They took that L, not fully powered yet. They're going to be back. Titania, the girl that fought her in the first one, she's like, well, who the heck are you? And she's wearing that crazy outfit, and she jumps and tries to like kung fu kick She-Hulk, and She-Hulk gives her, that work. That girl in the comics loses a big fight to Spider-Man, loses her confidence, she's a villain, but she gets augmented and she comes back and she fights She-Hulk all the time. So she's already been defeated also. So I think she's coming back. So you got the Wrecking Crew, and you've got the She-Hulk, or you've got the Titania, and you've got the unknown boss, who again, I am pretty sure is going to be the leader. So I don't think they're going to have the same actor play him either, because they can change him. I mean, they changed the Hulk, right? From that show, they're going to change that actor too. So I'm interested in where this is going. There was no Sakaar, Incredible Hulk reference this time, so they may let that go. She actually even says in the show, this guy, that guy, this guy showing up. remember whose show this is. So I like it. I dig it. I think they're using this to set up several other things in the MCU. They're going to introduce some villains. They're going to introduce some heroes. They're going to do some stuff. We might get a Fantastic Four cameo. I heard that the Thing might be on here. That would be cool. We'll see though. I don't know that for sure, but I'd like to see that. That would be kind of cool. But definitely, I'm thinking the Leader is going to show up. We just had the Wrecking Crew, and was the She-Hulk twerking? The She-Hulk was twerking. If you haven't seen it, stay for the end. Look at the end, because the She-Hulk is twerking. What was that all about? She's a really socially conscious person. She's using the internet to do this. She's using, different social media sites to find people and stuff like that. And she listens apparently to Megan Thee Stallion and twerks. The She-Hulk twerks. Captain America and the She-Hulk twerks. They're becoming more socially relatable, I guess. But that's what I think. More importantly, what do you think? Now that I have seen the She-Hulk, I think I would give this series, for what I've seen so far, still 7 bags of popcorn. It's building towards an 8. I can feel it. It's right under the surface. But right now, I would say 7 bags of popcorn. Not a bad 7, almost an 8-7. But now that we've had a chance to talk about this, let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn Passport.